Yeah, good afternoon, students. In today's session, we would like to learn about the introduction to data structures and the basic terminology which is required in this particular course. Now, I would like to share my screen. So, hope my screen is visible to you. So, this is the uh, data structures through C course. So, the week one, lecture one, the basic terminology related to the data structures. So the objective of this today's session is that this session will develop the knowledge on introduction to the data structures and its basic terminology. The outcome of this today's session is that after completion of this session, students should be able to understand the basic concepts of data structures and categorize the data structures into linear and non-linear data structures. So first of all, we would like to define what is data and how the data will be organized, in what way the data can be organized, and why we need a data structure. So that we are going to discuss in this particular upcoming slides. So data may be organized in many different ways. So the logical or mathematical model used for a particular organization of the data is called it as a data structure. So whatever the model we are using to organize that data, that is nothing but it is a data structure. So the choice of a particular model depends upon two important considerations. So the first one is that the model should be rich enough to mirror the actual relationships of the data in the real world, and the structure should be simple enough that one can effectively process the data whenever necessary. These are the two important considerations when we are organizing the data in the form of a data structure. Coming to this basic terminology, that is the elementary data organization. Generally, we are calling it as a data. Data is simply the values or set of values. Data item refers to a single unit of values, is called it as a data items. Data items that are divided into sub items are called it as group items. For example, if you take an employee name, this employee name may be further divided into three sub items like first name, middle name, and last name. So data items that are not able to divide into sub items are called it as elementary items. For example, social security number, if you take it as, we cannot further divide. It is an elementary data item. So entity is another important thing here. So it is something that certain attributes or properties which may be associated with that. So the values may be either numeric or non-numeric. For example, if you take an employee entity, so employee is an entity which will have certain attributes like employee will have a name, employee will have age, and as well as social security number, and then the gender we have. So these are the values, suppose if you are taking that, right? So entities with similar attributes forms an entity set. So each attribute of an entity set has a range of values, the set of all possible values that could be assigned to that particular attribute. So this is what we are calling it as data. Basically, data we are organizing in the form of attributes. Attributes we are organizing in the form of entities, entity sets, like that. Fine. Then next, coming to this, another important term which we have to identify and know the difference is that information. Information is sometimes used for data with given attributes. So that is the processed data which we are able to get from is called it as a information. So field is a single elementary unit of information representing an attribute of an entity, whereas record is a collection of fields and file is a collection of records. So file, record, field. So this is just like we have each record in a file may contain many fields, but the value in a certain field may be uniquely determined that record in the file. So such five fields which are used for uniquely identifying a record is called it as a primary key. Okay, so we can make use of that primary key to identify individually or uniquely the records in a file. Then next, coming to this information, the term information is used for data which has its attributes. So the information can be defined as a meaningful data or a processed data. So this is 3628/0895. So this is ISBN. This is what we are calling it as. This is the data we are calling it as. But when you are associating some meaning to this data, then this becomes it as an information. So 36, it represents the age of a person. So this is the representing the date of birth of a person. So this represents the book accession number. Like that, if you are associating some meaning to this data, then this becomes it as information we are calling it as. Fine. So now coming to this data structure. So a data structure, how we can define that? A data structure, D is a triplet, that is D is equal to small d comma f comma a, where small d is a set of objects, f is a set of functions, and a is a set of rules to implement that particular functions. So this D is nothing but we are calling it as a domain, f is a set of functions, and a is a set of axioms. So a data structure is a triplet composing of the domain, functions, and axioms. Domain represents the range of values that the data may have or the data object may take, and F is a set of operations which may legally be applied to the set of elements of the data objects. So this implies that for a data structure, we must specify the set of operations. And A is the set of axioms, which are nothing but the rules with which the different operations belongs to the capital set of functions can be actually implemented. So let us consider an example of a data structure. We know that the data type int in C programming language, the data structure includes the following types. D is nothing but domain. What is the domain of that int? That is nothing but the possible values that the data type will take. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. n up to this. So this is what we are calling it as domain. And the set of functions, which is nothing but addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and percentage operations we are doing here. And A is nothing but set of binary arithmetic to perform addition, subtraction, and division, multiplication, and modulo operations. What are the rules that we have to follow? That is nothing but set of axioms. So this is set of functions which are called it as set of operations, and this is set of rules which are following. We are to perform the set of operations listed in this F. Fine. So this is what we are calling it as a data structure. So this is another definition according to the Wikipedia. The definition of a data structure is given like this. In computer science, a data structure is a data organization, management, and storage format that is usually chosen for efficient access to the data. So more precisely, data structure is a collection of data values, the relationships among them, and the functional operations that can be applied to the data. That is, it is an algebraic structure about data. And coming to this, another source for giving the definition of data structure is according to the Britannica, a data structure is a way in which the data is stored or uh, maintained for efficient searching and retrieval operations. That is also a data structure. Fine. So now the reflection spot is that state whether the following statement is true or false. Data structure is a way of organizing the data in such a way that it is effectively searched and retrieved. Students, anyone can able to answer this question. Fine. Yes, it is true. So if you are not able to answer this question, please go back to the video and again, once again, watch this video to get clarity about this question. Now the lecture outcomes are revisited here. After completion of this session, students will be able to understand the basic concepts of the data structure. And the summary of this session is that in this particular classroom discussion topic, we had a discussion on what is the data. Data is nothing but collection of raw facts about an entity. And once you process this data, you are going to get it as information. Processed data is nothing but information. And the data structure, we have defined it as it is a triplet that consisting of domain, that is a D is a set of data objects, domain which we can call it as F is a set of functions, which represent the operations, and A is nothing but set of rules to implement those particular operations or functions. That is what we are calling it as a data structure. Fine. So this is a lecture level practice problem. That is simply we have given here what is a data structure. Define the data structure. Fine. So these are the further readings on this particular topic. We can refer this textbook on classical data structure by Devasys Samantha, and these are the reference books that you can refer that. Fine. So thank you, one and all.